Weep Nation, what's going on? Shark Gaming here, back with another vlog, and this is episode 4, I believe, in moving from Jamaica to the United States. So I'm gonna show you how, or tell you rather, how I got my license, American license, in just one day, within 24 hours of being here. And it was just really preparation, because at the end of the day, you already know that preparing to fail is failing to prepare, or failing to prepare is preparing to fail. One of the two of them. You get me? And obviously, most of this is actually God still, because at the end of the day, you can do everything right, and you still have to go the long route, or you still get a fight. You get me? And God was definitely very instrumental. Wow, I'm losing my vocabulary, but God was very instrumental in me getting the license in when I got it, because the job that I have as a chemical engineer, process engineer, whatever you want to call me, it's actually required. They needed my license, but they said that, hey, you have like a month or 2 months to get it. So really and truly, there was like a leeway. But basically what I'd done is I'd spoken to my former boss, oh my God, greatest of all time, bro, Natalie Sparks, love her. She told me, she recommended that I got the international driver's permit. What you have to do, you literally have to go to, like, I got an international driver's permit before I left Jamaica. You just go to the tax office. It doesn't even take a day unless the tax office is full. Then it's gonna take a little while. But all they literally do is you just go in and you give them a passport size photo. You get me? That's all you need, a passport size photo. Even if on the day you forget, remember that you have the passport picture place, or the man them outside who do the passport picture, like literally outside. Just ensure that you don't have on a white shirt, and take off your earring or whatever jewelry you have on, and you're good. And I think it costs like 8 bills at best. I think my own cost 4 bills still, but the man them might hike up the price. I had went to this actual place that did it, and just get them on the spot really, really quick. You know what I'm saying? And basically what this does is it gives you the right to drive in, I think, 100 different countries for a year. It's literally an international driver's permit. And it's crazy because even on your regular Jamaican license, you can actually drive up to 6 months on your visiting visa. You get me? But since I have a green card, you definitely need to ensure that at least you have something rock solid, that if God forbid something doesn't happen within the first 6 months, you still have the right to drive, because they're gonna check everything, bruh. They check everything, and they probably already knows the answer, so don't try to lie to them. Lying to them just make the situation worse. So before I had gone up there, like maybe a week or 2 weeks, I had already booked my OMV appointment. That is the Office of Motor Vehicle appointment, you know what I'm saying? And I had booked my motor vehicle appointment for reissuance. I think it was relocating your license, or reissuing at another location, or transferring something to a different, but it wasn't new license. It was like transferring license from other state or other country or some foolishness like that. You know what I'm saying? And initially, don't worry about it. You might not get through as fast as I did, because really and truly, as I said, it's just God. It was just the lady favoring me on the day. You get me? And I'm not going to go into too much of a rant, because maybe, I talk too much. But at the same time, I just have to let you know 100% exactly how the situation went. And I'm just letting you know that your situation may not go as good as mine. Maybe it even goes better. I don't know. You get me? But usually, especially when you're from another country, sometimes they don't really count it as an actual license, no offense. So even though I was driving for at least, I think I'm driving from 2017 on my license, and that's at least, man, do the math, it's almost 10 years worth of experience, probably 9 years of driving, 8 to 9 years worth of experience driving on the road, no accidents, blah blah blah. They check all of that lovely stuff, tickets if there are any outstanding tickets and so forth. Basically, I don't know if that was one of the reasons, and the mere fact that I had both my Jamaican driver's license and I had my international driver's permit. I don't know if that was one of the reasons that had the lady, or maybe because the lady literally looked at me and said, hey, I'm going to serve you because these YT people that were there, they were giving her like a hard time, and she's like, hey, I'm not going to lie to you. You came in, you had manners, you were patient. I'm just going to try to see what I can do for you. And I was like, okay, thank you, take your time, blah, 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 blah. You know what I'm saying? And she literally went over, she's like, hey, do you have any, when I went for the appointment, of course, because the thing is, okay, to track back again, I was anticipating to do a test on the day. You get me? And the thing is, with new license, as I said, the ones that they don't consider to be actual license, you may need to do 6 hours of classes. 6 hours of classes and 8 hours of driving. So that's why I said maybe it takes you 2 weeks to do it. You know what I'm saying? because obviously you can't do everything in one day. So you'd kind of spread out all of that in 2 weeks. Maybe you do the first week or the first 4 days, you do the 6 hours worth of teaching. Maybe you do the first 2 days. You do the first 6 hours worth of teaching, and then you just drive for 8 hours, which is very easy. You know, everywhere that you drive to America is 30 to an hour. So if you have an instructor and they make you drive around, within 5 to 6 days, you should be able to get in your 8 hours worth of driving. And by then you can make the appointment for the test, and the test would have been something very difficult. Now I had the book, but this is for the California traffic book, but I mean they're pretty transferable, but you can find it online. I was using the DMV online, and I was doing practice tests. I think it has about 25 free practice tests, and you need to get at least 80%. So that's 40. Is it 40? 40 out of 50. You know what I'm saying? To actually pass the test, to actually get a good score. So that was one of the issues. That was one of the requirements, rather. So you know, you have the 6 hours of lessons, 8 hours of driving, and then you have the test that you need to pass. You know what I'm saying? And as I said, the free tests, they were online, so you can keep doing it as much as you want and do it. And some of the questions repeat, some of them change around a bit, but eventually, after a while, even without reading the book, I will go like, I read the book partially, you know, because this has way more science, way more rules than the book in Jamaica. In Jamaica, I only read the pink book, and I passed the 2 tests very easily because most of it was common sense, and the signs are signs that you've been seeing from your young as a child, like from day one. Up here, these signs are different, bro, because you know they have interstates and all of those. I wouldn't say lovely stuff, but they have different stuff, so it's completely different as to whatever we have in Jamaica. But it's still common sense if you can kind of, you know, it's just some of the times you won't necessarily know like the meters for this, like how much meters you're supposed to stop here, how much meters you're supposed to trail this, how many the speed limit here. Just those things. In Jamaica, you know most of the speed limits. You know the Ocho Highway, the speed limit for the Ocho Highway is 80 kilometers for most of the ride. You know the one that can bring it to Clarendon/St. Elizabeth, that side is 110. You know that regularly on a regular road it's like 50 kilometers, supposedly supposed to be the speed limit. You know, up here is miles per hour. You get me? Most of the speed limits up here is 70, 80, 45. You know, and you have to understand that school gets precedence and those type of stuff. That silent zones up here are actually silent zones. Not when you're driving past Bustamante and you hear a bike going dum 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 dum, no. Bro, trust me. Down here they'll drive you down and you'll get that ticket. I'm motherfucker, sometimes they don't drive you down. Sometimes they did us because obviously license plate for the most part is always linked to a house, it's always linked to an address. They literally, I saw a car that looked like mine. So I was like, am I in the right car? But obviously I have to be in the right car if, you know, I'm in the car and the keys on. Anyway, you'll just get the ticket pop up in your mailbox like on a month later or 2 weeks later. So don't try to play that game here. They're very strict with that. So basically, as I said, you prepare yourself, ensure that you have a license and your international driver's permit, set your appointment. Usually, if you're smart, maybe you should set your appointment maybe 2 weeks after, for 2 weeks after you come. You give yourself some time. You do the 6 hours, just to be safe, you do the 6 hours online class, and then you do the 8 hours driving, or you can do I did and go in and make them probably recommend you to do it. If you don't pass, fine. You get me? You do the work, read the book, read the material online, do the practice tests online, do as much as you can. Do them over and over and over and over again. They're free. You know what I'm saying? Just keep doing them over until you get 100. You know what I'm saying? I kept doing it until I got like 45 out of 50, 48 out of 50. Most of the time I was getting 100 still. By the time I reached like not less than test number 5, test number 6, I was getting like 100%. So that was definitely something that was, I guess, helped me. You go in for the appointment, right? And I guess if you don't do the test, I didn't do the test. They make you do an eye test, a reading test, and I don't know. I don't remember exactly what I did on the day, but I think those are the only things: the eye test and the reading test. That's really it. Or maybe the reading test was the eye test. You know, closing one eye and reading, blah blah blah. But it wasn't even that deep. It was something very simple, very easy, and you need I'm gonna tell you what you need. You don't need any signature or whatever from the stamp from the JP or whatever the case may be. They're gonna take a picture for you on the day, so they don't need a picture that they're gonna put on your license. They literally take a picture on the day. So if you want, look your best on the day. Me, I didn't really care. You get me? They're gonna need a proof of address. They'll actually let Amazon package slips pass for proof of address, but you need 2 proof of addresses. I had 2, but there was one that was kind of shaky, so she only gave me 1 star. She said as soon as I start getting bills, just come and she'll just add on the star to my license so that I can start going through the TSA, so that I can start going through TSA with with my license instead of like, I guess, passport and those stuff. So that's very important. I actually need to go back because I've been getting bills, bro. I've had my license for over 2 months now. I've been getting bills, so I need to go back to her and let her give me the new stamp and so forth, or the star rather, so that I can get it. But yeah, that's how I got my license. You know, got it very quickly, and it helps. Trust me, having your license, it helps, because it helps you to get Apple Pay. It helps you to like get verification. It's the #1 way of verification up here. Especially like, yeah, your green card is good and all, but you can't just have your green card alone as a verification, because most places, most things, especially when you're doing your medical and you're doing like your job or whatever the case may be, green card cannot be your only form of identification. And the reason why I say, yes, of course you have your passport from Jamaica, you know what I'm saying? You have your passport, you have your license. Those things don't really matter up here. It sounds bad, but those things aren't really gospel up here. They need physical documents that have on your social security number and have on other little stuff on it that, you know what I'm saying, you definitely need, let me see something. Yeah, so you definitely, you literally need things that are in the US system so that it's easy for you to integrate and get throughout the day. So you see, if you have the green card and the license, you're safe. But if you're using a Jamaican license, they're probably going to need even a third way of whatever the case may be. You know what I'm saying? Like you see, now since I'm paying bills, because I still haven't gotten my credit card, I said, well, that's going to be a part of the series. Get the credit card, bill credit and all those lovely stuff. Because hey, building credit is man, building credit is something, bruh. That's very important. This is the land of the credit, so I guess, yeah, we're gonna have a video about that soon. But yeah, I hope this video helps. I gave you what you're supposed to do, and I gave you what happened to me. You know what I'm saying? I hope you're unlucky at the end of the spectrum or whatever, but at the end of the day, it only takes 14 hours to get your license. You know, 6 hours of learning, 8 hours of driving. And if you're from Jamaica, you're already driving, these roads are easier to drive on. It's lonelier, longer stretch of road to drive on. You just follow the signs. Drive within the speed limit. Do not drive too slow, but drive within the speed limit. And there's countless amount of videos on YouTube that you can use to actually do the driving test. Because I was doing it raw. You know what I'm saying? Where I was like looking at, I was watching YouTube videos even the morning of going to the place, you know, and I had to Uber from my place to the OMV, you know, it was like $30 to $30, but no, $30 to like $35, $36 back, because, you know, I went early in the morning, and then during the day it was like busy. It was like $36, and the Uber took a while to come over, and you know, man, having your license and then eventually getting a car just makes life easier. You're not gonna spend $60 in a day. What's what I'm looking for? Moving through, you know what I'm saying? Yeah, you're not gonna spend that type of money. So it's very crucial to get it. And that's why I say credit is very important. But yeah, we will get into it. You know what I'm saying? If you have any questions at all, I'll let you know. But the journey, I'm not complaining, bro. You get me? As I said, I just need to go back to get the star so I can use this at the airport when I'm traveling. It makes life a bit easier. I think I'm gonna do it anytime I get free. So I think I'll probably do it next week. I'm free next week, so I'm just gonna do it. You get me? Well, I don't know why I'm saying next week. You guys aren't seeing this video till like a month or 2 months later anyway. I don't know why I'm saying next week. I'm so sorry.